Good morning, it's Andrea from Rubier Ceramics here in Berkshire, UK. I have a kiln opening for you. All right, it's not a big kiln opening, but because I have several of the same thing for my daughter, and I have fried a bunch of things for my friend. I'll show you them at the end, but what is in here is interesting. I have some glazes that are new to me, so we shall take a look. I've already had a peek. It is down to 43. I let it cool overnight. I rarely touch this kiln when it's less than 100 after a kiln fire. I can't wait, but I did need to sleep. So now it's down to a reasonable temperature, so we should be able to get down to the bottom without gloves or cloths or anything. So let's take a look. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right, well, I'll show you what I see because it's too hard to pick up every piece here. Hang on. So these little stars and flower shapes here are what I did for my daughter. She's off to a festival later today, and at the festival that you often trade or gift tokens to some of the other people, and she wanted some sort of token. You could bring anything. You could bring stickers, you could bring, you know, a little yarn pom-pom or whatever, but she wanted me to make something out of clay, so I did. So let's start over here because these are very consistent in the color. This is Spectrum's Butter Yellow. She cut all these pieces out and she glazed them all. That looks pretty good. I like that. Now these blue over here, this is interesting. Now this might be partly how she applied it, but I think it's not just. This is also Spectrum and this is Lagoon. And it looks like it's one of those glazes that does its own thing. Texture shows through okay. I wouldn't say it highlights it, but it shows through. But then look what it does here on the flat surface. You can see that on all of them. It kind of does its own thing. And like, I would think maybe she didn't apply it very well, but I can show you this, which I did in Lagoon as well. And you can see it also is a bit uneven. So, I have to think about how to use that one. I bought this glaze secondhand from someone else, and along with the Butter Yellow. And this one is not. This one is one that I bought myself. Oh, isn't that pretty? Oh, this is from Bath Potter. Bath Potters, it's a pottery supply house, as you might guess from the name, here in the UK. And this is their own glaze of lavender. This is one they make in-house. Ooh, I like that. Okay, so it's not consistent, but it's in the same way the Lagoon isn't exactly all consistent pie. This is a little bit more consistent in being different in its coloring, if that makes any sense. It's first thing in the morning. Please forgive me if I'm talking a little strangely, but I think you know what I mean. Like this color, this looks much more consistent than these colors. And satin matte. A little bit of a sheen, but not really shiny. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm not sure if it's food safe. It doesn't say explicitly on the little description on the website. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more deep dive to see. So the other thing you saw on that shelf was my snowman. I did this in my 60-minute challenge to do as many projects as possible. That's another video you can go and watch. I painted this with Spectrum White. I'm just checking because this white ended the white glaze that I had. I know some speckle had got into it because I had speckled engobe and then I was painting white on it, and I think some speckles got out. No, I used the same brush that I'd used for speckled engobe in the white. Don't do that. Don't do that. But don't think it's too much. I mean, this was a bit rough and ready how it was made in 5 minutes. I was a bit rough and ready with how I painted it too. But so Spectrum White, that was a bit of cobalt underwash, sour green stroke and coat, camelback stroke and coat, tuxedo stroke and coat, orange appeal stroke and coat, and then just all those just wiped onto his hat along with then more of the tuxedo stroke and coat. It's okay. It's cute. I definitely will refine that and do that for Christmas, I think. It's a cute little shape. And then you can put your rings on it, right? Nice. Okay, I'll get all of these other things. Well, I'll show you the ornaments a little closer because we just briefly talked about that. So that's the first time I've done something quite so big for hanging. I need to glaze this in something, but I wasn't sure if I wanted it in the same glaze or if I wanted maybe a underglaze on something so that I could have it touching the wire. But in the end, I just left it bare. And that's fine because this was another one of those 5-minute crafts that I did in the 60 minutes. Well, go back and watch the video rather than me trying to explain it all to you. There's one more piece from that in here, you'll see. Okay. All right. I'll get all these little tokens off the shelf and then I'll be back to show you what's on the next shelf. Okay, everything's off the shelf. I'll take off the shelf here, rocking it to make sure the posts aren't attached. And, ooh, it's quite colorful. Quite colorful. Okay, well, let's start from one color and move up to multicolored. So this is, I just had a little bit of leftover clay, so I cut out this heart. And then I think I put in the end 3 coats of coral by Amaco. It's a celadon glaze from them on this. I really like coral. I think it's a really pretty color. And look at how well it shows up the texture. Well, as you would expect for a celadon. Isn't that nice? I think that's quite pretty. I didn't even want to buy it when I first got it. It just ended up in my hands because they didn't have the color I like, and I'm so glad I got it. Okay, what are we going to get next? Okay, we'll get this mushroom. Again, I had some leftover clay from some things. I'm just trying to remember what that is from. Oh, that's from something underneath. Okay, so little mushroom. This is just some black and white underglaze combined because I need it for something else. This is some green underglaze that was mixed together, so it's a bunch of colors together. Very watered down. Again, for another project on the bottom shelf, you'll be able to see. And then that had one coat of this green underglaze on it, and then it had jungle gems. And you want to know which one it is? Maybe you'll guess before I find it. It was meadow on there. I think that looks really nice. And I was a bit concerned it'd crack because on the test tile on the Mayco website it shows it with crackle, but it didn't, and there's no other glaze on that, so that's quite good. I mean, still time, it could crack, but it's cool now, so it's much less likely to do it. Very pretty. Like that one a lot. Retains a lot of the color that it would have in its earthenware colors things. Oh, I didn't mention this was a cone 5, fast to cone 5, and then I held it for, rather than my usual 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because there's a piece on the bottom that I was worried might get pinholes because of, I'll show it to you and I'll explain more when I get to it, but I did 15-minute hold. Okay, next, okay, let's see this guy. Ah, good. So this was another one of the little things I made in my 5-minute, my 60-minute make as much as you can test. This was, when I rinse off my glaze brushes, I have a little pot and I just rinse them off in that one glaze thing. So this is all that sludge that's at the bottom of my glaze mug. And unsurprisingly, it's a brown color, but it's actually quite pretty. Look how it's filled the texture. Pretty good. This is my little monster that I made. Blah. So the black is Stroke and Coat Tuxedo again. Orange is Orange Appeal Stroke and Coat. Teeth were, I think, Blue Yonder Stroke and Coat. And then the tongue is the best bit. Sorry, the tongue, so you can see it. Sometimes the phone just doesn't like it when you get too close. Hopefully you can see it. I'll get another photo of it later. The tongue was grapple or grapple stroke and coat, and then Purple Rain Jungle Gems on top of it. And I think that looks good. The inside is copper ore, but you can't see it, so I'll show that to you later. It's interesting. I was trying to find a use for it. Jeanette from Far Forest Ceramics doesn't like her copper ore. I think the color came out. I don't think there's anything wrong with the color in it, but I don't particularly like the color, shall we say. But I think it could combine with some things. Just need to keep practicing with it. Right, onward ho. Okay, which one am I going to pull out here? I have two quite nice things here. So I have this bowl. It was done on Luna Fleck clay. You can see how rough it is. That's the one thing I don't like about this clay, is how much I have to sand it. But I've not worked with any other speckle clay, so I'm not sure. Maybe that's just the way it is. And then that's the glaze. I don't like how it came on the side here. I feel it thinned out too much. And you want to know what that is. Of course you want to know what that is. The drip's gorgeous though. That's very delicious. So inside and on the rim, it is 2 coats of Mayco's Micro Pearl, followed by 1 coat of Raspberry Mist. I'm not particularly a fan of Raspberry Mist. I like the color, but I don't like how it reacts. I find it pinholes on me quite regularly, so I'm trying to use it in different ways. You can see little bumps down there, but they're not pinholes. That's just more of the speckle showing through than anything. Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't think it's great. Like here, maybe I might use another coat of Micro Pearl or something. Not sure. The rim, that's delicious though, isn't it? Look at that. That's very nice. But here it looks a little thin. What do you guys think? There was a little bit of texture in there. I want to see how it reacted with the texture. Basically, that rim there caught the bottom of the texture. But the texture is definitely not highlighted. Still, the inside's pretty. I'll get some photos of that out in natural light so you can see it better. Okay, this one. Good, didn't stick. I didn't think it would, but I don't know. It looks a little bit basic. I think I'm going to reglaze this. I already know what I'm going to do because I thought about doing it before. All right, sort of a Miami Beach kind of wave color. This was my original, for those in the UK, you'll know Sports Direct mugs. This is my ode to Sports Direct with the size of it. I don't know how big it is, but it is bigger than any other mug that I've made. It is quite huge. But I was hoping the colors would blend a little bit more because I did put some light flux here and there, but it hasn't. So what do we have? This is Spectrum's Butter Yellow. This is Mayco's, is it Mayco? Yeah, Mayco's Pink Gloss and also Aqua Gloss. Now I know the glosses don't move very much. I know that they tend to be quite stable, which is good because like look how close I went down to the bottom. But I was hoping with some flux in between, because I did 2 rows of Aqua, then put on some light flux, you know, you can see it a little bit, and then put on the pink gloss, and put some flux at the top and also here where they join together, and not much movement. So I think it looks a little bit basic. I don't particularly like the way it looks. Inside maybe a little bit nicer with more of the white showing, but I don't like it. I think I'm going to cover this whole thing with Flux Blossom. Well, maybe not the whole thing, but down to the top bit of the Aqua, and see if that just pulls the colors a little bit better together. Because it is a nice mug to hold. It is quite heavy, I will say, but if you got bigger hands than I do, which aren't particularly big, it could be quite nice. As long as you like your Miami Beach colors, which I do. I like the color combo together, but need to work on getting them to blend a little nicer together. Maybe I just need to dry brush it better. Okay, that's everything on this shelf, but you can stay and watch because it shouldn't take too long to unpack this. Okay. So before I lift this, I'll tell you what's on here. Under here is mainly some little bits for a friend that I was firing. She does a lot in porcelain. She does little hand-built pieces. They're so sweet. Just a simple shape, but with lots of, and simple decoration, but together they just look really, really quite stunning. And then also I have a plate. You may have seen me somewhere doing birch texture. It's like birch trees with little birds in it. And the first one I didn't like how the glaze came out because I tried to put just a glaze on top and it didn't look great. So this time I painstakingly colored it with underglaze and then put clear glaze on top. And I'm a little concerned of how the clear glaze went in between all the texture bits. Because there's quite a few little narrow cracks and crannies. So I put on the bottom shelf, which is the hottest part of my kiln, in the hopes that the glaze would have a chance to move and meld and fill in any little gaps that I might have missed filling in. I did my best, but sometimes it's out of your hands, right? You just don't notice, or there's a little bubble over top, and then when it pops, there's no glaze in it. So I was hoping by keeping it hotter for a little longer, it would fill in. So you will see with me. Oh. It's very rare that I get to pull this out without using gloves or a cloth. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's okay. It's not great. I was concerned that I hadn't put on the underglaze thick enough with enough layers, and yeah, there's no problem with the clear glaze, but you see, I was going for a lighter green, but not an invisible green. And look at how patchy that looks. Oh, that looks awful. Oh, I am an amateur, but I don't like my pieces to look like they were done by an amateur. I do like my choice of color here. This was, I don't have a gray, well I do I have a gray? No, I don't have a gray underglaze, so I use black and white together with a little bit of blue, and I do like that color. And I like how the birch trees themselves came out, but the background's awful. And there's no way I can reglaze that because at the time I at least had the texture to hold. Like when I would color in, you could see here the birch tree branches were raised, so I was able to color in that little bit by just dropping in some watered down glaze, and then it wouldn't go further because it was bordered in. But now of course there's no borders, so I won't be able to reglaze that. Oh, what a disappointment. Well, live and learn, right? I did tell myself it's better to just get that one done and have it not work than to try and perfect it, because nothing in ceramics is about perfection. Well, it's maybe striving for it, but few of us ever reach it. Okay, I have two more things of mine to show you, and then I will take the camera to show you my friend's pieces. Right, so this was also then Bath Potter's lavender. Really like that. Really think it came out well. I think it sits just right in the wrong spot between the lights there. Oh, I think that looks really cute. And that was Stroke and Coat Green Thumb. Yeah, that's sweet. And then this one was I left the stem raw with that Luna Fleck clay, and then that was Micro Pearl underneath and Spectrum Sunrise on top. It's also very cute. Oh no, sorry, Micro Pearl under there and Spectrum on top. When I said underneath, I was thinking it's underneath the glaze, but no, it's underneath on the back side. I'll try and get some photos of all of this, so I'll put them at the end of the video. Oh, sweet. They're very cute. At least I have two cute mushrooms to make up for my disappointing birch forest. Oh well. Okay, I'll grab the camera and I'll show you my friend's pieces. They came out really well. Okay, I'm trying not to stand in the light. Look at how sweet they are. She's not used underglaze before other than black and white, so she wanted to see how the colors came out. I hope she's happy with that. Let's pull this one out. Look at it, isn't it sweet? I love these. I'll pull out this one as well so you can see what she does. They're just little hanging ornaments inside, left raw with the black porcelain. So nice. So that's it from me. Like I said, I'll put photos of everything in some better lighting at the end, probably along with some non-copyrighted music for you to enjoy. And yeah, that's that for now. I won't have a kiln opening for a while, but I might put up a few tips and tricks that I've been thinking about recently. Let me know what you thought. What was your favorite piece? I think probably my favorite piece was this bowl. I think that color is really lovely, and I was happy to make. It's the first time I've made this shape. It's not perfectly round, but when is hand built ever perfectly round? Not in my house, at least. So if you liked it, give it a like. Please subscribe. Yeah, leave a comment of what your favorite piece was, and I shall see you next time. That's it, Andrea from Ruby A Ceramics. Thank you.